because we had a phone call. So this is handy to have, safety pins. We can just throw those wherever. And I like that it's clear, so if some of them are open and you open it and you go to reach your hand in there, you're not going to stab yourself. You can kind of see, because that sucks. Butt glue. We always have butt glue available. I usually carry one in my pocket because kids need it like right away. Usually not my kid. This is first aid kit and medication, so I always have Tylenol, ibuprofen. We had a girl get hurt at our first competition and she bled. Her foot bled all over the stage. So I bought liquid bandage. And then first aid kit, just a cheapie from Target that I got for free. And it's just got the cheapest band-aids you could find and gauze. Nothing fancy. Neosporin spray. And then I get really bad headaches, so I have extra special medicine. So all of that kind of fits in here, but not really. I kind of have to shove it in here. Not the best bag for that. So.
If you do have asthma like me, we put my inhaler in that.
Oh yeah, we don't have that in here right now, but her inhaler and spacer we usually have thrown in here too. Actually, you can go get that if you want. Go get your Batman bag. This is what we put our makeup in. It's clear so we can see what we're getting into. Okay, just hang on to that. Like I said, most of the time our makeup is done by somebody that was hired for the competition to do makeup. So really I only keep stuff to either do touch-ups or recital makeup, or myself. So I always have Q-tips and cotton balls, a makeup eraser, which we really haven't had to use a ton, but it's handy to have just in case you need it. Lotion, neat trick that my mom taught me when I was a teenager. You get makeup under your eye, like eyeliner or mascara, and you can't get it, and it's just smudging and smudging and smudging. If you take just a dab of lotion and put it like on a cotton ball, just dip a cotton ball in here and just lightly rub it. Don't get it in your eye because then you'll be crying. But just rub it, rub it, rub it. It will take the black off, and it won't show at all. So like it won't show that you took makeup off at all. So we always keep just a super small thing of lotion. And then just kind of touch-up makeup is all we really carry. I don't carry like a ton of eyeshadows or anything. We have to have our own mascara. So the two that we typically use is either Maybelline Rocket or, I don't even know who this is, CoverGirl, So Lashy. This is a new one. And I always do like one waterproof and one non. So this one's waterproof, this one's not. It's got this ball on the end, so it's kind of hard to do, but it looks really, really good. And then we do lip scents. So she always has her gloss, her color, and her oops. And then setting spray, which I love Urban Decay's All Nighter. That's what I use on myself, and it works super well for stage makeup as well. So this is just a cheap bag I got at Walgreens or CVS or something. It's handy because you can see exactly what you need, where to grab it. Oh yeah, there's body shining like glitter in there. Oh, that's another thing. Primer, which I don't see. We typically use Prime Time. It's not in here, but I have a small thing of Prime Time, and then Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. The best soap in the world.
And NARS blush primer.
That's not blush primer, that's highlighter.
Oh.
So makeup all goes here.
See how much I pay for attention to makeup?
So that's kind of how it goes inside the bag. You've got these two compartments. I already opened this one, but this side is always a buckle. This one is kind of our
junk.
Kind of our junk, I guess. Yeah, you're right. So I always have portable chargers because phones will go dead, and that's how all of the moms and the studio owner and director and teachers and everybody gets a hold of each other. So I always have a ton of chargers, and I usually carry like a wall charger too, but it's in my purse. So those are all in here. Butt glue again. That's probably the one that's usually in my pocket. I always have tissues either here or in the bag with the makeup stuff. Masking tape, pens, highlighters, and markers. Highlighters come in handy because we will go through, as soon as we get to a competition, we start highlighting everything that we're in. because schedule changes and it's handy to have available. Notepad, which we don't typically use, but just in case. This I don't want to get all over the outfit, so I never put this in the main part of the bag. It always goes here, because if it's going to leak, I want it to leak on stuff I don't really care about. E6000, I've had to use it a few times on girls, either shoes or outfits with like little gems or jewels. So this is super, super good stuff. And then I have a cloth in case it leaks everywhere, and I always keep this under whatever I'm gluing, because this stuff is, it's like magic, but it will get stuck. So, and I keep it in a Ziploc bag. And then ponchos, which I'm not going to pull straight out, but we have a couple of ponchos.
Which actually came in handy when we were in Des Moines.
Her very first competition came in handy. It started pouring. And so here's a free one that we got from a salon, and then the one that came with the bag. So I shoved both of these in there. And that I have readily available in this front pocket, so I don't have to open her bag, dig through everything, because of course it happened when we were leaving the hotel. We were running late. We needed to get the poncho over her now and go, so it's super, super handy to have. So this pocket is usually overfilled and stuff is usually hanging out, but that's just the way I usually have it. I don't always have the butt glue right here. I think I just threw it there after recital, so because it had been in my pocket. So, and you can tighten it if you want, so I just don't. This side is the side that this isn't the original zipper. This zipper, this whole thing was like shredded off. So the lady sold it to me for really cheap, and I had this zipper replaced. So I think it was originally blue to match the bag. So this compartment is typically used for food or makeup, things you don't want to melt or get hot. So it's insulated. You can put snacks in there. Most places that have competitions will not allow you to have snacks. So, or water, which most of the time people break that rule. But sometimes we'll put a couple small bottles of water, like those little mini ones that you can get in like a 12-pack. But I don't use it for that, really. I put wet wipes in there. I'm not sure why there's cotton balls in this bag. I put wet wipes in there because, again, I don't want them to leak all over the outfits. So I keep anything that is leakable. Well, I put everything in Ziploc bags anyway, but that kind of stuff I put in here. Makeup wipes, which we have in this container. And again, her name is on everything, because you wouldn't believe how many kids show up with the same stuff. And then again, these are in a Ziploc bag, makeup wipes. And then this is in a Ziploc bag. The other thing that comes in handy are straws. I will bring tons of straws to every competition and recital, and I need to refill it every single time, because all of the girls use it, because they don't want to mess up their makeup, and we don't want them to spill anything down their shirt or mess up their makeup with it. And so I always have a ton of straws. We use them in bottles of water. We use them when they get anything. And of course, we don't allow like red juice or anything like that. Almost always we want kids to drink water, but it doesn't matter. We don't want them to ruin their outfit or their makeup. And so straws are the thing to go. Even if you're not a competition parent. That's still
Recital, it still helps too.
Recital. See, in this zipper, and again, this isn't the original zipper, so think nothing of this, that it's getting stuck right now. We'll fix that later. Okay. So, I'll show you the curtain. Just to make a huge mess here.
And like I said, we would put my inhaler in here with my spacer.
Yeah. Another Etsy find. This lady makes these. She makes them all sizes. This one is specifically for an inhaler, so it comes with this clip, so we can clip this onto a backpack or something. But spacer and inhaler fits in here perfectly. And then again, I'm crazy, but just in case I'm not around, I'll just hide these. But in case of emergency, phone numbers, parents are on there, her medical history, her allergies, and then her medication. So kind of handy to have just in case we need it. We've never really needed it, but sometimes competitions can get hot and stuffy. I have seen some kids that have needed it when they come off stage, so it's a scary thing. So we always have this thrown in here too, but it's not competition season, so right now it's just out. So my mom, I saw these ideas online, and it's actually really brilliant. So my mom made this for us, and it's a curtain. And actually, we had one for the smaller bag too, but when I sold it, I gave the gal that I sold it to the curtain. But again, the rooms get really, really tight. Sometimes you're in there with multiple studios. Girls are all with girls and boys are all with boys, so you don't have to worry about that. But some girls are a little bit more modest than others, and so having a curtain would be handy. So this would hang like so, or vice versa, whichever way you want it. I would rather be on the side where everything is so that I know nobody's getting into my bag. So this is the curtain that she made. I know Dream Duffel recently started selling ones that like wrap around and supposedly make like a dressing room. That would never work. Just my own personal opinion, but this is kind of handy. So even though I'm a little bit tall for this, so that means most girls would be way too tall for it, you can still get dressed behind this pretty easily. You could squat down or whatever and change. It'd be handy for the shorter girls. So I don't know if you want to come on this side and look and see. You can hang outfits over it. They hang just fine. It just sticks out over here. Who cares? So I've seen girls that have like their names embroidered and these all fancy, and people sell those for like $60. I think my mom went to the fabric store and I think we paid like probably 10 or 15 bucks for the fabric. So, and you can do it even cheaper than that. This is kind of fancy. So
It does come in handy when you're right next to a door and you kind of...
yeah, because the doors are opening and closing, and men are walking by, dads are walking by that are doing props, or other people are walking by. You don't want everybody to see you. So even though our girls will wear a bra, it's still, and booty shorts, it still is just kind of not cool. So, and then again, this pulls off pretty easily, and you literally can just like push it down and it just goes. Really easy. And like I said, this bag does have little clips right here to hang the bar. But our bag is so full, I just don't always do it. I just throw it.
That, and it might get broken in the car when it's getting tossed around.
It's getting pushed around. So.
And the only way that we can fit it in the car is on its side, so.
It is a really big bag. I drive a CRV with a pretty big
Trunk,
and this takes up that trunk. So if you have a smaller car, this will work if you put it in the back seat or something, but it's pretty tight back there. So then these hangers, again, like I said, they're specific for these bags. They can hook onto here like that, and then we will usually alternate them. Again, my bag is really full because of all this stuff. Most people would not have this much stuff, and so these would stay right here just fine. And then I would usually alternate them like that. And then I usually put, like, if there's breakable stuff, I don't put it right on the bottom. And honestly, I don't usually use these hooks because I think they're a pain in the butt. I usually just set stuff down like that. Say hi, Dan's dad. Oh yeah, this is usually down there with her curtain. So this is how it usually goes as we find stuff that we forgot to pack. This is brand new. I'm not used to that.
He's the picture guy.
He's the picture guy. And the what number are we on guy.
Yeah. Normally if we're backstage, or in the back, or back in the dressing room, then we can't notice what number we're on until we ask somebody.
Oh, one important thing I forgot. This is something that I just did. I can show you on the medium. This is handy if you get the itinerary ahead of time. Of course, things change sometimes that day. This was our recital, so I highlighted all of the dances she was in so that she knew, because I was backstage and I wasn't able to be there all the time. And then it has, and the competitions will always have the kids' names too, so who's in what. But I put it on the biggest carabiner that I had, and then
it barely still fits.
Thanks, AJ, for the negative comment.
But it works, but...
And then used a ring and she could just flip it like this. Super handy. I've seen other kids do it, and so that's why I started to do it. And I just found cheap, like, leftover page protectors and just threw them in there, and so we can reuse it and just take them out. So super handy. So we do that. This bag will be extremely, extremely heavy to lift.
Him and my brother normally lift it.
Can you get that other zipper?
Hold.
No, she can't.
Well, yeah, no, I can't. Here we go.
Dream Duffels always have patches. You can look on the medium. So hers we kind of jazzed up. I had it embroidered, and then we jazzed it up with some fabric and some glue. But it always comes with a blank patch on the top, and then on the back there's a patch, and I had her dance studio embroidered on there. They are removable. You can buy blank patches on the Dream Duffel site.
Stool.
Then there's always this compartment on the back of all 3 sizes that can fit a stool. And her stool has a cover, but normally this is what it would look like. But this cover was on clearance, so it matched her bag.
Kind of.
So, we don't actually use this a whole lot because there's not a lot of sitting, but some of the kids would use it if they did their own makeup and whatnot. So, and she could sit here, have that mirror hanging, touch up her makeup or whatever. It's kind of soft, as you can see. It's a bit cushiony, so kind of nice. And then it just fits in here like that. And then we always have a label. So I actually had this made, again, Etsy. And then the dance kids, the team kids got these made at the studio last year. Then it lifts on this side. This telescopes up. You push this button, telescopes up, and you can tip it. It's got a handle here and a handle on the other side so that you can lift it into the bag. So her and I will usually tag team it because some places don't have elevators, so that's always fun. So we'll tag team it, carry it up the stairs. I'll take one and she'll take the other, and then this telescopes down, pushing the handle. So it is really steady and sturdy, but again, it's really heavy. Again, we have a ton of stuff in it, and we don't even have everything in it that we normally do, so it does get really, really heavy. So that's what we usually pack in our Dream Duffel. The only other thing that isn't in there that usually is like hair straighteners. I always carry at least one, if not 2, with a heat protectant pad on it to put it on when I'm doing hair.
There we go.
And then snacks and stuff like that, since I don't use that pocket, we always have just a different bag, just a cheap backpack, and stain-free snacks. And then we usually have waters in here, so to be honest, I usually have pop and maybe a coffee in one hand. So that's how we usually pack our Dream Duffel. If you have any questions, message me.
Comment.